Hey guys, Maddie here from We Came to the Future podcast, where we do interviews with people in the NFT scene, artists, investors, builders, collectors, everything. A very special guest, Boss Logic. How are you, man?
How you doing, bro?
So we've seen Boss Logic's work on Nifty Gateway, and a lot of you guys have seen his work in general. So we're gonna ask him a bunch of questions on how he got started and how this whole NFTs thing is playing out. So do you want me to call you Boss Logic or Cody?
It's code.
Code.
Yeah,
Code.
you can call me whatever you want. Everyone gets Cody mistaken, so
We'll go with Code.
that's like 90% of the people.
All good, man. So, Kurt, how did you start kind of getting into art? It mostly starts with like starting at a young age, but what's the backstory before you became Boss Logic, really?
The backstory is my dad's an artist, and I've always wanted to be like him. I see him draw and all that. So at a young age, I transitioned into drawing like all the time, and it was kind of like a downward spiral because it screwed up my schooling because all I did was draw. And yeah, I fell in love with art, and that's all I wanted to do. And after, like, I had to drop out of school at a young age to start pursuing work, so my hobby became art.
Oh, wow.
And having that avenue and trying to get better at it, and by like 2009, I said to myself, I want to just do this. This is what I want to do. So I quit my work and I just put my all into it. And it took about 6 years to actually barrel roll into something of this caliber. And then I started doing fan art and working with big companies. So that's how I got up to this stage.
That's crazy, man. A lot of artists, because I'm new to art collecting. I'm an investor, a crypto investor, and I recently started getting into the space 6 months ago. And I remember back in the day when I was drawing, and I was a little bit of an artist, definitely not at any caliber of artists we see right now. But I remember like my parents were a little bit supportive, but they're at the end of the day, they were like, Maddie, there's no real future here. You have to do engineering. I'm Indian, so they were like engineering, a doctor or medicine or something. So it looks like you had some support, or at least someone to look up to, because your dad was an artist. So did he guide you?
I had my mother support me a lot, but my dad he supported me, but because the art industry, it's very cutthroat, and he didn't really make it into the industry, and he knew the hardship and all that sort of stuff, so he advised me to go in a different route. But my mother is the one that supported me, as in kept me going, but my dad was the inspiration.
That's nice. Well, traditionally it is quite cutthroat. Would that be fair to say? Like, it's very difficult to make it as an artist?
It is, but I would like, I don't know if you agree, but nowadays digital art, it's like it's open for anyone.
Absolutely.
And there's no limit of jobs. Like, a lot of people need artwork, especially in this social era where all these companies need digital works, logos, all that stuff. So it's not the art industry, I think, is cutthroat to get to the highest level, but to actually work in the art industry or digital design and stuff, that's not hard.
I agree with you. I think social media enabled the ability to hustle and connect with people and all that sort of stuff, and share your work and get a name out for yourself. And then now we have NFTs, which allow you to sell your art directly digitally, very easily, right? And it's also like digital art, and the transmission of a digital piece to a collector is so simple. You're not posting anything. They don't have to worry about storing the physical thing. So that sort of like frictionless movement, I think, has just created like a monster industry.
Yeah, especially right now, it's like on fire.
Yeah. So when did you figure out? So when did you first hear about NFTs? Like, when did you actually, wait, let's rewind it back. So when did you actually realize this could go from a hobby to like a full-time thing? Were you getting an income already, or was that just like?
It took me about from 2009 to about 2014 to start getting an income. So 2014, I started getting like little jobs here and there. And
how did you get those jobs?
Through social media.
Okay.
Thankfully.
So is that because you grew your account and were sharing your work, and then people start to know about you? And then...
Yeah. So I started, like, I liked shows like the CW Arrow and Flash and that. So I watched every episode, and each week before the episode comes out, I would make a poster for it. So I'll put that out there, and it gets traction from the official accounts and from the fan base. and they keep sharing it around. And from there, like companies would like tell me, can you do a poster officially or do this
Wow.
officially? And it barrel rolled into where I'm at now. Like bigger companies want to commission me to create real posters for their upcoming movies. So without the internet, it's like I wouldn't be at this point at
Mm.
all. Yeah.
How important do you think social media is? Because I see like new artists come to the scene from traditional markets or being an artist outside of the internet, and they come in and they must be amazing artists, but I think they struggle a little bit. Do you think social media is very important in this
Social
day and
media
age?
is very important in this day and age for every artist. A lot of people say, "Oh, that's just the thing," or
Mm,
you can do without it. But just think about the last year. Imagine you're a traditional artist without social media, and you had to be locked down for a year. No one's gonna see. No one has seen your work. No one's gonna see anything you did. You're locked in a house for a year.
true, man. So
Yeah,
true. I think like so my theory and the reason why I'm always tweeting my ass off really is because I think, in like a year or two from now, you're not going to have a voice if you don't have like a good amount of social media followers because the communication is so digital. That's the way of the future. And it is kind of a numbers thing. Like the more social media followers you have is a general indicator. Obviously, the quality is more important as well. But at
yeah.
the end of the day, like if I launch a business one day or if I display an art or become transition my career somewhere, I can communicate that and get a lot of initial of a boost, right?
Yeah. So yeah, social media following is important. Like a bigger following, obviously, is much greater for your opportunities and businesses. But a lot of followers is not always the end all.
Hmm.
Like if you
Hmm.
have quality followers, quality supporters, that's a big thing too. And
Absolutely.
people look at that. Like that's why companies look at engagement.
Hmm.
Like if you have 1,000 followers, but your engagement is equivalent to a person with 50,000 followers, you're more important. Yeah,
Hmm. That
yeah.
makes sense. And I think like even at 1,000 followers or 500 followers, you can still release like really good content, whether it be like threads, information threads or blog posts. You can still like hustle and get your information out there, and
And that's
people will
how you
find you.
grow. You put out quality stuff. If you have like 500 followers, 1,000 followers, and you keep putting out quality and
Hmm.
good information and stuff, you're inevitably going to grow
Exactly.
because people are going to look. Yeah.
And it's definitely a time thing because I remember when my Twitter for the first like year, I think I went from like a follower a day here and there, and then suddenly I started going. I'm like now I'm getting like 100 or 200 followers a day, and it's cool. But
Yeah.
it's like this exponential thing. Like the more you have, the quicker it grows. You just need to hit that exponential point where you.
That's the thing. You're like I haven't been following you for too long, but I see your quality content in your tweets are very informative. So when your followers retweet that and they read that, like their followers read that, they're like, okay, this guy's giving me good information. I'm going to follow him.
Mhm.
That's what it is.
Exactly, man. Exactly. So how did you hear about NFTs? So NFTs obviously crazy thing, and I'm assuming first time artists hear about them, they don't know what the hell they are. So like when you heard
Uh,
about it, what was your reaction, and then how did you kind of get into doing what you did?
so I thought NFTs was just some random quote name for some site. So I didn't really know about it until about a month and a half, 2 months ago, where my friend Bill, he did a drop and he said, he goes, "I'm so grateful. All my pictures sold out in 7 minutes." I'm like, "What does that mean? What does seven
All them
minutes
PNGs.
like? Did you put all your pictures on the site and it sold?" It's like I didn't understand it, so I asked him and I done some reading on it, and he said he done an auction and he said he made a couple hundred K, like just selling in a couple minutes. I'm like, how does that work? So the people that got him in were called Ivy Gallery, and I was like, I went to message them, and apparently they had messaged me beforehand, like, but I've never seen that. I didn't see their message till
How
now.
many DMs do you get a day?
I get close to 150, 200. Yeah, so it's like I can't go for more.
Yeah, I get it, man.
Um, so Ivy Gallery reached out to me, but I never saw the message. So I saw it now, and I replied to them, and then we constructed a drop to see how I go.
Did you know what a
So
drop was? Is that a normal common thing in the art world?
no, I don't know what a drop is. Like
Okay.
that that was new to me
Because
too. So
sometimes when
they
I'm
said,
telling my friends and family, I'm like, oh, like there's a drop. There's an art drop. An NFT
yeah,
art drop. Like they know what NFT is, and they're like, Maddie, what the hell's a drop? What
yeah,
are you talking
yeah.
about?
Everyone was like, "What do you mean you're selling for 7 minutes?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's open for 7 minutes, and you can buy something." And like all my friends now want to get into NFTs, buying them now. And like they're seeing it and they want to invest and collect.
Are
So
they
so they
artists?
no, they're just collectors.
Collectors.
They're like bitcoins, and
So okay, this is really important because your friends obviously support your work. Do they want a piece of, like, is it collector desire to have like an NFT that came from you?
yes, but now they barrel rolled into like liking everyone else. So that's the good thing. It's like they look at other artists now. They're doing research for other artists.
Nice.
So that's the ultimate goal you want.
Mm.
Yeah. So when it got to my drop, I did it. I launched it on the day. The time started. I just yeah. So the time started, and 7 minutes went by. I'm like, I just saw my numbers. I'm like, what is this? Like, how do you
The sales numbers, right? From like each. Yeah,
because
dude.
with Nifty, it's like when you sell, you get an email of every seller, and it's like my email was like I had like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 emails like stacked on top of each other in Gmail saying I sold. I'm like, this is just crazy. And after it finished, like it was like in my pocket, I pocketed about 600, 700,000 Australian.
Crazy.
And that's just like from one day. So I was able to pay off my parents' house. Like they've supported me forever, and I paid off
Amazing,
their
man.
house in one day from NFT.
Amazing. That's beautiful. I remember like in 2017, people were making money from crypto and they're like, we paid off our parents' house, we paid off a house, and that was the beautiful stories. And it's cool to think that we can do that now. And the crypto markets have been good as well, but like you can do that from art and actually doing something, not just like waiting there refreshing your portfolio. Yeah.
And other cool sites within NFT, like what's called Nifty does USD. It pays you for USD. But other sites pay you with Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can stack Ethereum from art now.
Exactly.
Like if you can't afford Ethereum like from your pocket, you sell your artwork, and certain sites like what is it? Like I've been on the Foundation.
Okay.
Foundation app. So I've seen like artists just sell their stuff, and one of my friends sold for 11 Ethereum. Like he's not doing anything, just sitting at home, and he has 11 Ethereum now.
It's amazing.
So that's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, look, for me, I've been like an NFT investor trader for the last 2-3 years, and the golden thing for me was like, holy crap, I can get more Ethereum by buying and selling these NFTs, as opposed to putting more money in, right? So because you put more your bank account in, then you're obviously putting more into the investment. But if you're growing your investment in Ethereum, because a lot of us predicted in 2021 there's going to be a boom, or at least there's so much innovation here. It was like it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time until everyone catches up and they're like, holy crap, crypto's going crazy. It's got so much cool stuff in DeFi. It's got so much cool stuff in NFTs. All these projects are maturing. And so a lot of us were stacking Ethereum. And it was so cool that artists as well, in about July, August, September, like that period, were also like selling so much art that they were also getting Ethereum. And now Ethereum's 3 to 4x, and they can kind of see they're kind of mixed from investors to artists and collectors, and it's really cool. I think it's an awesome merge.
Yeah, and also I've learned a lot more about Ethereum after NFTs. Like I've done more research into it, which is a good thing too. So it gets people reading.
Do you collect?
Bitcoin
NFTs.
NFTs, yeah. I got like 5 now. I forgot to get any of mine, but it's like because that was the whole rush. It's like, should I get one of mine or should I leave it?
You don't know. Yeah, that's crazy, man. So what was the inspiration between that drop anyway? Was there a bit of a story behind it, or?
This one, they wanted to get, like, since I told you IV Gallery reached out to me first. Mm-hmm. So what they wanted to do is bring the fan art side of things. Because obviously I do fan art for Marvel. I do official art for Marvel and DC and stuff. They wanted to bring that to the table. So I had to bring in some licensed work to the table. And that's what we did. We dropped a whole bunch of fan stuff. And people loved it. It's like, it was crazy.
I have many pieces.
Thank you. Yeah, that's how I found you. You got my works up and you tweeted it. I'm like, yeah, okay. This guy's awesome.
No, it's awesome, man. I'm like, oh my God, I've been splurging on art because I'm not a collector. The crazy thing is I came to this industry with a very investor focused mindset.
Mm.
And now it's just so colorful, like being part of everything going on, and there's so much emotions, and there's like a birth of an industry, and all these new artists are like, holy crap, we can actually make more money than, or make some money.
Yeah.
And some of them don't have any following, and they're selling art. It's just like, whoa, what's going
Not
on?
only that, a lot of them get to collaborate with bigger artists, like collaborate with musicians and all that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
It's a space where like you wouldn't be able to get that opportunity before.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's what I love about the scene.
I think
I
there's a
see everyone.
Yeah, man, totally. It helps everyone, and it gets everyone involved as well.
Yeah.
But I think the really cool thing for me is if I buy your NFT, that's an official connection of your work that I have and that everyone acknowledges, including you. So, like, I can not just get your attention. I don't do it to get your attention, but it's interesting that when I buy a certain artist's work in the digital form, I am a collector of their work, right? And so you have that special relationship, that special bond. I remember when I first bought Ferocious's art, I bought like 4 for like 10, 12K. And looking back then, it was a steal. And I'm so grateful I did it. But like, I was DMing Ferocious, and we were like, just talking about all kinds of stuff. And I was proud to be a collector, but it was just NFTs. It was digital art.
Yeah.
And this sort of relationship you can't really form, you could never do in the digital space, I'm assuming, right? So I like that. I like buying artists' work and being like, yo, like, what's up?
You connect with them and you learn about them after it. That like you did. You went on YouTube, found out about me, found out about where I'm from. Yeah, that's what it is. It's cool.
Yeah.
But the coolest thing about it is when you buy my artwork, you're supporting me, and also when you sell my artwork, you're still supporting me because the whole
Exactly.
NFT. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just like opened up this whole new paradigm of everything. So everything that sits on blockchain, basically everything that sits on Ethereum, the ethos of Ethereum is that it's going to be this record keeping thing that is going to last forever. So your art will exist forever on Ethereum as long as it's held up by the community. And it's like it has this trust value where anyone at any time, like, you can check who your collectors are by looking on blockchain and be like, oh, okay, this address, this address, this address, they're all my collectors. And then you can later on airdrop, if you want to, like this cool ticket to meet you or something, or something even more special. So it's, NFTs, although they're art right now, what I'm thinking will happen is that future projects and all that, future games and massive games that come out that incorporate NFT technology, they can just say, hey, we just want all of Boss Logic's fans. And they can just look on blockchain and then integrate the NFTs that we own into special items into their game. So they can be like, in our game, your Boss Logic pieces are actually a Boss Logic shield, right? Yeah. So they can do that. So imagine that this has not been done before because games take a while to make. But when it gets to that level and they want to onboard communities, they're just going to turn the switch on with your permission, maybe. They don't even have to ask your permission, but they can just do that.
It's like I've actually seen a couple people, like couple platforms that are in the works right now where they're kind of like an open space VR world where they can bring all your fans and followings that have bought your stuff into your art gallery. Like they get invites only, which is pretty dope. It's like you have a digital art gallery that people can walk around with VR headsets and it looks like the real thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's pretty dope.
There's Justin Blau, I remember this really cool thing that he did was, I think 2 months ago or something, he released this artwork. And he released like 50 pieces of them for about 0.3 Ethereum, if I recall correctly. But if you own one of them, and you go to Decentraland, which is the virtual world, and he had a club built there, and you can go into the club, and the club only opens the doors if you have the NFT in your wallet.
Yeah.
And you knock on the door, or you click the button, and the door opens, and you go in there, and it was unreleased music that was playing. So when you go in there, you have exclusive access to his unreleased music. And I was like, shit, this is sick as. This is an art piece and also a ticket to a club with unreleased music that he could just continue to provide value to his fans.
You can guarantee like someone like Cardi B will do this as a concert. Like you buy one of her, pictures or something, and that's your ticket to the concert. You go to in digital space, you go to a concert and you hear it, like you put the VR headset and you're there. That will be incorporated 100%.
Even the physical space, man. Like even the physical space, they can just scan. If there's a way to like show you a digital wallet or something on your phone, maybe they can just scan it and you're into the club.
Oh, there will be. They have those things that you.
Yeah, there is. But the cool thing is as well, like, so for example, you can also separate the people that supported you. So for example, the first people that ever bought your work. the first people that trusted you, maybe for a new artist, you can separate them in the sense of you can give them like an extra VIP experience, or maybe give them like a special AMA to those that maybe 10 years later support you, or buy your stuff. So there's like this, I don't know, it unlocks so much, and that's why I'm going after Genesis pieces.
Endless possibilities. Like we're only in the we're on the shore. We haven't even stepped in the water yet. So
true, man. So true. All right, man. So what do you have upcoming? I think there's a big drop coming up that I'm excited for.
There's a few drops coming. There's the official Justice League drop that's coming, which is on, I believe, the 9th, but that's US time, so our 10th in Australia.
Yeah. Do you know what time it is?
I'll figure it out. I'll send it to you on Twitter exactly what time. But I got a few extra things. I got on the 7th with Affinity Chain, the one I've been posting. So basically, we made a parody Pokemon card that we're launching as a drop, and that's for their exclusive members. But one of them is a one of one that's going to be released auction to the public. And what else? There's one in April, and there's one in the end of March. But these ones I still can't say them until they announce them. But from now till June, just keep an eye out on my Twitter. There's like a whole bunch of stuff coming.
I'm sure there is. I think we're all excited for the Justice League one.
Yeah, that's a special one because it's for a good cause, for charity, and should help.
Do you sell anything physical? Like, do you have collectors of your work in the physical world?
I used to like at shows like cons. I used to take prints and stuff, but it's only a collectible one. Basically, I sign it or they frame it or something, but it's just a paper print, nothing limited, unless. Sometimes I do like custom one-off covers, like I'll draw on top of covers. A lot of comic book artists do it. That makes it collectible, but this is usually through cons.
Do you think they have more value now?
I don't know anymore. Right now, because the market is so hot, I can't really gauge. But I would like to see like a year from now how it works.
Because I did this interesting thing because Jose Delbo, I'm not sure you probably know him, right? Jose Delbo, like the 1960s comic artist, he was very early with the whole NFT scene, right? I know his grandson, and we were talking, and he was getting his grandpa into the scene, and he dropped NFTs, and they were going wild, right? He was hitting records of like $100,000-$200,000 per single NFT. This was in like 2020, before this wave, and it was nuts. And I was like, shit, this is crazy. And then I went to eBay and I bought out like all of his physical drawings. And they were like $200 each, and no one really had kind of gone and done that yet. Yeah. And I was like, is this not right? Like, am I doing something that's dumb? Like, is there a different, like, is value changing in the minds of people to being only digital, or do physicals and digitals have value? Like, I wonder how it's
that's what we have to. That's what we have to think. We have to gauge how NFTs are in about a year. Like, for example, if DC went and officially scanned Superman #1, like officially scanned it, and that's the only one NFT. Right now, that will go more than the original. Like in the NFT scene.
Exactly.
Like, I guarantee you, they put that up, that will go for like, 5, 10 mil or 20 mil, something like that for a digital copy, where the original one sells like at like 7 mil or something like that.
All right.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
That's the thing. I don't know how to gauge it, because I don't know if people are like paying way too much right now because it's like the thing right now. Like, are these artworks going to be that worth in a year's time? So it's still a new space, as we said. It could get even bigger. We don't know. Yeah.
The crazy thing is that for 2 to 3 years, so I actually didn't touch the art scene for like a year and a half, because I've been watching it. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, people are just buying these images and stuff. Like, this is not going to last. But, I've been tracking it for a year and a half, and it just kept breaking records. And back then, I remember there was a Trevor Jones drop, and he did like 100K in a day. And I was like, holy shit, like, okay, like, something's going on here, like, there's more to this than I think it is. And it's already been a year and a half to 2 years, 2.5 years now in maturity, and it's been growing steadily since then. So now we're seeing some exponential growth, but I think that the collective desire is there. And I remember, like, man, 2 days ago, I had a ferocious piece that I had listed for 55 Ethereum 2 weeks ago, and it sold 2 days ago, but I totally forgot I had listed it. If I had known, I would have delisted it because 55 ETH is a total steal, right? It's like
Yeah.
85k. I think it's cheap for a ferocious piece.
Yeah.
But that piece meant so much to me that when it was sold, I was like shattered. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that piece sold. And that whole day, I was just like so shattered that my 4 pieces is down to like 2 because I'd sold one before as well. And every time I sell, like now when I sell these pieces, they mean so much to me that they're actually very hard to sell. There's a piece that I have from Ferocious who that came with a physical piece, and I remember buying that piece and showing my family, showing my wife, and it was just so much history and story to that I literally don't have a price for it. Like if someone offered me $1 million, I wouldn't sell it because that's how much attachment I have to a digital item. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
But we are in the digital age right now, and see, since these things like technically on a technical level last forever, and if the digital space lasts forever, they're like official pieces, like forever pieces. So
Yeah.
it kind of holds the weight of a physical piece.
Do you collect physical stuff? You probably do.
Yeah, I collect physical stuff. Probably the best thing I have is a shadowless first edition Charizard. That's all I got.
Where did you get that?
Um, Believe it or not, I bought it for $300 on eBay.
No way.
Some guy was selling it on eBay for $300, and I'm like, okay.
Good condition?
Yeah, I graded it. It's a 6.5.
Oh, not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
I did the stupidest thing. So I had like the full set mint.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was shadowless. I think it was like base set 2 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was like the first set, right? The first 150 Pokemon. Anyway, I held it from like 2013. I bought it from eBay for $230, the whole set. I held it from 2013 to 2017 or 18, and I sold it for 250. I'm like, this is not appreciating. I love it nostalgically. I love Pokemon, but I need to do some business stuff. Let me sell it. And now I look back and I was like, man, I wish I had that. Not for the money, but I actually miss it because it just means so. I remember when I got married to my wife and I forgot that I had sold it. So when I took it to my house, I was like, oh babe, like let me show you my Pokemon collection. I was looking for it for like weeks. And then I checked the email and I was like, oh my God, I sold it. I forgot I sold it. And I was so shattered.
That's basically what Pokemon is to me. Like me and my brother, we used to go collect. We used to go to people's houses. We had fights at school for certain cards, like a Charizard. Like we legitimately had fights. And yeah, it's part of our part of us growing up. So
can you imagine if Pokemon do an NFT anything?
Dude, they'll be dumb not to. If they release like even the original packs as NFTs, they've already made billions.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. They have to. Like I would love to collect them and have them. I think it's just like the perfect play, and it would unite the whole world. Like whether you hate or love NFTs.
Well, look at the example. Every time I try to explain NFT to people, I explain it via Pokemon cards. Like that's how I explain it, and that's how it was explained to me. So it would be like it's just it has to happen.
Yeah. What do you see as like the benefits of the NFT world or the era, as opposed to like the traditional art world?
Exposure. It's open for anyone, and basically it's re-inspired millions and millions of artists. That I love that.
Yeah, for real, man. It's just like we don't even know the depths of what this can do. But in terms of communicating directly with investors, collectors, and artists, I think that loop there with social media and then having this NFT token that kind of links everyone together, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing. I've been talking to a lot of NFT heads, a lot of crypto people, a lot of investors, and these are new people to me. Like before this year, I haven't talked to these sort of people, and I've learned a lot, especially about business from these people. So this growth is helping benefit your guys learning about art and us learning about business.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's so true. And I think the really cool thing as well is that artists that sell work, one, they get Ethereum, and then suddenly they start collecting art that they have a keen eye for anyway. So it's kind of like you're investing too. So
like I know a lot of people that like didn't know me before, but then now they're looking at my artworks where I've been. It's like some of them are posting, oh my God, this guy's an official Marvel artist and he's in NFT. It's like that means it's legit. I'm like, I don't know how that makes it legit, but okay.
But then like even someone like you when you sell, you can start collecting, right?
Yeah,
And collecting is technically investing, um,
yeah.
whether you want it to be or not.
The thing is, I started off just by supporting my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like I support my friends' drops. Like they supported me, but then I started looking at drops. I'm like, yeah, I like this one. I'm gonna get this one. Yeah, I like this one. I'm gonna get this one. And kind of you get the rush of, when there's a limited to 100
Yeah.
pieces, I want to get it before anyone gets it.
Were you
And
able to
then
get?
I've yet to get a limited piece, the ones that are in the numbers ones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But because every time these sites for some reason crash, it's like you got so much money, buy better service.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's tough. It's tough to scale this because I think there's like tens of thousands of people on the site just like watching.
Yeah.
Did you were you able to get the Beeple piece? The Beeple piece the other day?
I tried to. Again, the site crashed. Then apparently, they only picked the first 400 people that were in that 4-minute space or some shit, something like that. And then a lot of people got left out.
Yeah. I think it was something got to do with you had to be on the site for 4 hours.
Something like that. The first couple hundred in those 4 hours.
Something like that. But I remember looking at the raffle number and there was like 13,000 entrants. So I don't know.
Was it? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the first. Maybe it's everyone in those 4 hours.
Yeah. But anyway, it's just crazy, man. This Christie's thing is coming up, and I think that's a really interesting one because if that goes for a lot of money, I think that's a huge signal to the traditional art world that this NFT thing is no joke.
Yeah. But then we have to figure out, politics is going to come in at that point. The traditional artists are their voice is going to get louder, and the digital artists are also going to get louder, protecting that side. So I'm hoping they find like a common ground and, able to say art is art.
Yeah. I think to be honest, it's not just art, it's creator content.
Yeah.
You don't have to be an artist. It's a piece of content that connects you to a collector, to someone, a personality, whether that be an artist or someone. Because I remember I did this experiment like 3 or 4 months ago, and I made this tweet saying this tweet can be an NFT, right? And then people started to offer me bids on that tweet, which you can do through this like integration with this protocol Cent. I forgot what it's called, but anyway.
Yeah, I kind of saw that. Like some people were minting my tweets. I'm like, what's happening here?
Yeah, you're getting offers, right?
Yeah.
So I started getting offers, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I got a $25 offer on this. So I was like, all right, in 24 hours from now, I'm going to stop this, and whoever gets the highest bid gets a piece of art from me and the NFT for this tweet. So it went up to $400, and I was like, okay, that's cool. So
who wants to buy my tweets?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? So for me, I'm not an artist. I never said I was. I actually said I'm a really shit artist. Like whatever you get from me, I can't guarantee it looks any good. But the fact that it had value, it's like a proof that you don't have to be an artist. It's not an artist thing here. It's just an artist thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like people are collecting something from you. That's what it is.
Exactly. And by doing so,
that's what I've been looking at Nifty. Like I'm not saying like people are not liking what they're looking at. It's just they're not really looking at what they're looking at. They're looking at the name, and a lot of them are looking at the collector's value of things.
Yeah.
But
buying 5 of them so they can flip 4.
Yeah, that's I saw one person, I'm not gonna name him, but I saw them buy like 25 pieces of the same thing. I'm like, okay, you like the collector, but I'm pretty sure you're selling them.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, man, the crypto space is a land of opportunity. It's always been for 12 years a place where people make money. So you have this art thing being born from a crypto flipping, making money, short attention span space. That's the 95% of the investor demographic. So you're going to see this trying to flip and all that sort of stuff. And I think that's a bulk of the revenue coming in, which is cool because it's kind of helping push the space up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I saw people get inspired to want to do art in general. Not art. They want to do art now.
That's crazy. Yeah. I have friends of mine being like, man, we should have just, how long does it take to learn art? All right, man. This is really cool. So last question, some advice to new artists. A lot of them probably going to watch this.
Okay. Advice to new artists. I'm gonna be relevant to the timing. Advice to new artists: when you're creating art or you're going into art right now, do not only think about the money. Like I know the NFT is blowing up and it looks very lucrative and all that sort of stuff, but do it for your love of art. Do it for you creating something. You're putting something from your head onto a canvas, and you're showing it to the world. Be happy with that. And if you get money along the way, dope. You get to pay off your bills, dope. But don't let that be your sole influence, because who knows, a year from now that could disappear. And if you're not doing art for the love of it, you're gonna end up hating it.
That's good advice, man. I think it also gives that longevity as well, because it allows you to stay there and spend a year, 2 years, 3 years, because it takes some time, right? At least 6 years.
Yeah.
It took you 6 years
took me 6 years to start like even getting noticed. Like there was days, like I remember tweeting back about a year ago. I had an old tweet from back then, from 2010 or 2011, and it says, "How do people sell prints? I can't sell anything." And it's like I can't, fast forward to now, and like I'm grateful where I am in my life. But that's the thing. It's like there's a change. You just have to keep persistent.
So true, man. So true. All right, Code. This was awesome, man. Thank you for coming on the show and sharing your knowledge and your start. And I think a lot of people will be motivated by this.
Appreciate it, man. And appreciate your support as well, man.
No, not a problem. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna keep doing these pretty often. Again, artists, collectors, investors. NFTs is really a thing that links up multiple industries. I think it's going to be huge. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll see you guys in the next one.